Hello, everyone. Welcome to my session. I know several of you. For those of you's faces I don't know, how many of you are using Salesforce? Not yet? Just curious? All right. So not using Drawloop? No. All right. At any point, if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. If we can get a dialogue going, that'd be awesome. So before I start talking about how you can leverage document generation in Salesforce with Nintex Drawloop, I'd like to first talk about what is document generation. Document generation is the process by which you take your data, your documents, with your business rules and logic, and wrap those up into a single combined unit. In Nintex Drawloop, we call that a document package. So you might hear me say that. Document generation uses data to drive the content from one or more systems of record. With Drawloop, you can bring your robust and complex data models and turn them into the rich, dynamic content that you need to sell and service your business. Additionally, Drawloop allows you to further automate your document generation using Nintex Workflow Cloud or the Salesforce platform. So this is Tony. Tony is a business owner from Acme, and he's wondering, why do businesses like Dell, LinkedIn, Tesla, Meritage Homes need document generation? When data is driving the content of your documents, users must interact with the system of record on a regular, frequent basis. This drives the adoption of that system of record. Within your system of record, like Salesforce, document generation is integrated directly into the flow of your business process. So document-centric processes that were manual before are now clicks in Salesforce. With Drawloop, all of this is happening in Salesforce, like I said, improving user engagement and efficiency. Nintex Drawloop offers administrators flexibility and power, but also a high level of control. Management of document templates and other content like component library are centralized within Salesforce for ease and flexibility of managing and maintaining that content, whether those are your templates or component library, which is an aggregation of different pieces of text or content that you might need to pull into your document package. Document packages in Drawloop can be configured with different levels of control, allowing or restricting users to interact with that content, depending on the needs of the business. And if the documents you're delivering are considered the source of truth, then the data needs to be accurate and reliable. So with document generation, you're improving the data quality in your system of record. So from within Salesforce, Drawloop allows your document packages to use data from anywhere, and you can even transform that data into the format that you might need it in for your documents. With this improved data quality, it also aids compliance requirements and helps minimize user error. Document generation can be used across your entire organization. These are just a few samples of the different document types we see across different departments. So hopefully, all of the benefits that I just talked about document generation can convince Tony to try out Nintex Drawloop. So now let's see how different members of Tony's organization can leverage Drawloop within their Salesforce environment. This is Johnny. Johnny is a sales executive and like all good sales executives, he generates proposals and quotes for his opportunities in Salesforce. And I, as his Salesforce administrator, can enable Johnny to generate those proposals using Drawloop in Salesforce. So I'm going to jump over into Salesforce. Here we have an opportunity. So from this opportunity, as a Salesforce administrator, I can enable the Drawloop Lightning component right there for Johnny. So when he's ready, when his opportunity has met the appropriate stage, proposal, price, quote, or any other stage where you need a document, he can come into the opportunity and click Select Document Package. I'm going to generate a proposal using Word, and I'd like to send it out to Jack Rogers. Here, my Drawloop administrator has given Johnny the ability to add an additional document, which is this macro widgets brochure. So go ahead and include that. We're going to send that out via email. Now, just for fun, this progress bar is going to show a very colorful display of colors. It's not normally this rainbow color. It's normally a nice blue. But
you get that,
No. So now that we've generated that proposal, we'll go ahead and preview that and see what that looks like before we send it out. So here we've pulled in the contact details, the account information to create a nice proposal page. We've generated a quote as part of this proposal. So we see here the line items that were included on the opportunity. And then we see that macro widgets brochure that I chose to include. So now that document looks good. I can click Compose Email to send that out. Here I'm using a feature we call Email Merge, which is allowing me to use a Word document to populate the body of this email. So you can use the rich text formatting of the Word file as your email body. Go ahead and click Send. And we can see that we've sent that email out to Jack, and he'll receive an email shortly with the quote attached, the same quote that we just took a look at. If you've used Drawloop before, which maybe a few of you in the room, and you're wanting to take the leap to Lightning and you want to keep that classic Drawloop experience, you can also create a button to be used in Lightning or Classic Salesforce, and that can take the user into the Drawloop experience without the Lightning component. So you can get the same functionality. This is Diana. Diana also works for Tony. She is a partner account manager, so she has a list of partner contacts in Salesforce that she manages, and occasionally she wants to send out information to those partner contacts, whether that's a summary or a letter thanking them for their help or whatever other content she might want to send to them. In a batch fashion, she can send that out from a list view and select which contacts she wants to send that content to, or she can leverage a Salesforce report to control who those documents are going to. So let me jump back into Salesforce. This is a Salesforce list view where we can see a list of contacts. I'm going to be showing the second option for Diana. From any list view or any other Salesforce UI where you can add a button, she can click that button. Here, this page has been defined to allow Diana to select from a list of reports from this partner report folder. And so I can click View Report to see who's in that report, who these documents will be sent to. Again, if there's any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. So as Diana, I'm going to send out this partner summary to that list of 3 contacts. Clicking run will queue up those requests, and they'll process shortly. So we can go back to our inbox, and we'll start seeing those documents come in. Additionally, we've, as a Drawloop administrator, configured those document packages to also post to Chatter and attach to the account for each contact. So here for my partner contact Tim, we've attached the partner summary for him to his account. And here we can see for Tim, these are his top 5 opportunities by revenue. And these are the opportunities by stage by revenue. And if we look at one other report, we can see that the list of opportunities is being dynamically generated for each contact, and also the chart is dynamic. That was Josh. So maybe as a regional sales manager, you might want to leverage document generation. Maybe you want to send to all of your sales team a list of leads that have come in, or a document summarizing the opportunities for your team. This is Reed. He is our regional sales manager, and he wants to send to each user on his team their list of leads for the week. And he wants to do that weekly, so on a scheduled basis. So with Drawloop in Salesforce, we can configure a document package to be scheduled. So this particular document package could be set up to be daily or weekly or monthly, sent out on Monday at 5 a.m. so each salesperson gets their lead right at the beginning of their week. Without having to wait for it to run, I'm going to initiate this manually by clicking test. And so this will also queue up the documents for that process. So as those documents process, we'll see those emails come in. And this particular document package has also been configured with that email merge feature, where the content of the document is being placed directly into the email body. So a sales team member can see their leads directly in their email without having to open that attached document. And these are links directly to the leads if they want to interact with those leads in Salesforce.
And the trigger was time?
The document package would be scheduled. Yeah, so it would run every week or every day or every month. Yes. Yeah. Nope. And last person we're going to look at on Tony's team is Jessica. She's a Salesforce developer, and she has been asked to customize the experience for their team, for Acme, in a variety of different ways. She can perform document generation using a workflow in Salesforce. She can use Nintex Workflow Cloud. She can use the Visualforce component that comes with our managed package to change the look and feel of that run process from that I showed from Johnny. And she could also have document packages run entirely behind the scenes using Apex, which is Salesforce's language, server-side language. So I'm going to show something that Jessica has designed to customize the user experience within Salesforce. So again, we're in Lightning. I have this custom object called a quote. And we've configured a generate proposal button, which will take the user to a Visualforce page. This Visualforce page has a ton of different options on it, all of which are used in the document package for different pieces. Some of it is data elements, and some of it is changing what's actually being included in the document package. So we'll run through this with the settings we have here. We'll just click this Create Document button, and it'll process right on the page. Also, it'll perform an automatic download once it's complete. So we can just open that up and see what was generated. Let's say I don't want to use this particular Acme TV logo. I want to use a different logo. So I can just come back here, change the options that are available to me on this page, and just rerun that document package. And it'll do exactly the same thing, pull in all the data, pop open the download, you can save and open that up, and it's changed the logo. So that's the customized experience that's been designed from a developer point of view. So hopefully all of that has helped explain what Nintex Drawloop does, how you can use it from an end user perspective, and I'd encourage you to install Nintex Drawloop from the App Exchange. You might need to spin up a Salesforce org. You can do that free. You can get a dev org, and it'll last forever. And install Nintex Drawloop and give that a shot. And feedback slide. If you've attended other sessions, you're familiar. Yes, questions?
Is there any way you could trigger a document package from outside Salesforce?
Yes. It would be, you would still need to trigger an event in Salesforce that would trigger the document package.
You could potentially do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if you do one of these timed things you did with the email,
Yes.
user-wise, would that trigger be one user in your contract? Or will it be one license per recipient?
So if you're automating document packages, then that's considered per transaction. If you're...
So let's say I'm sending it out once a week
Mm-hmm.
to 10 people.
So
Will that be counted as one user per month? Or will it be 4 users? Or
Yeah, so the scheduled add-on is not charged per user.
okay, so it's a separate add-on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can purchase for a price per year? Or
I believe it's per year.
Okay.
Andy is around and can speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was interesting.
Good. Yes?
Are there limits to that scheduler, like 100 to go at the same time?
100, like a batch of 100?
No, like document packages.
Currently, there is no limit.
Is there one coming?
It is not on the current horizon. Are there any questions about how I set any of this up? I can run through the management side of any of this.
And anything you have to think about when you're going from the standard Drawloop layout, the DDP launch, to Lightning?
So document package management is not yet available in Lightning. It is something we're working toward. So if your users are using Lightning and they're generating documents in Lightning, your Drawloop admins would just have to jump back to Classic in order to manage those document packages.
You don't have to, it can be there automatically, you don't have to think about it.
Correct. Yeah, so your existing buttons that work in Classic should still work in Lightning. And if you want to enable the Lightning component that I showed, you just drag that on with the app builder.
And for Salesforce 1?
Yes, so Salesforce 1, you can create an action that references directly our Lightning component.
Okay.
So you get the same experience that you saw it.
If you have I haven't actually tested it, if you have a button on a print, and will that be visible in Salesforce 1? Will it be an action in Salesforce 1?
The buttons are not by default available in Salesforce 1. I believe you need to create an action.
An action, okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? I can answer Salesforce questions or Drawloop questions.
Trying to think of a hard question.
They don't have to be hard questions.
Could you show something about, I mean, we use an Apex, but I haven't got a clue how it works.
I can show some code.
Yeah, just to see it, just so I get a feel for it.
Sure. Let's see. So I can show the code behind that custom page, which is here. This is the Visualforce page. There's a lot going on here, but we'll just jump all the way to the bottom. And this is where that progress bar comes in. This element here comes with our package. And you just drop that on the page, and in the controller behind the Visualforce page, you just set up a parameter instance and pass it the appropriate information. So you'd pass it the record ID, the document package ID, and the delivery option ID. And then in the controller, I can show where that's being defined. So here is an example of one of them. We're creating a new process DDP parameters instance, specifying, like I said, the document package ID, delivery ID, record ID. I'm applying the Bootstrap theme so it looks nice and lightning. And you can set up custom callbacks, so JavaScript callback. So that's what's performing the automatic download. So when the onComplete callback method is called, JavaScript will perform that click and the download will occur.
Oh, it helps me understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it does not. I did not write that. I don't think the person who wrote it, Jessica, was expecting anyone to see that. Should I make that bigger? Is that difficult to read? Can you read that? Okay. If you're interested in running document package behind the scenes, that would be using the loop message class, which is here. We're creating an instance of this loop message class, and then we're adding requests to it. So each request you add to that instance will be a separate document package that is generated.
To what I understand, the Apex can handle more data faster than Excel is doing.
Then Excel is, you're talking about the Apex data feature.
Yeah.
So the Apex data feature is where a document package can reference an Apex class, and that class can gather the data, manipulate it, or grab it from an external system, aggregate that data, and then that data can be used in the document package. So you're asking if that's faster than the built-in?
Yeah, or can it handle more data than Excel? That's moving.
Potentially, depends on the types of calculations you're performing. Yeah. We have moved, it's not necessarily that it can handle more data, it's just sometimes it's easier to write code to do the manipulation versus try to do it in Excel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excel can get tricky sometimes. Especially if you're trying to change the structure of the data. If you have like 3 objects in Salesforce and you want to combine them into one in some very specific way, that's not easy to do in Excel.
Or when, like we have
Yes, you are taking several objects and combining them together in a very specific way, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes?
How about for a document to be triggered automatically, not materially into the one stage, something automatically gets sent out?
Yeah, so you can do that with a Salesforce workflow.
Okay.
You would create the workflow that looks for that and then add an outbound message
Okay.
with a specific field with a particular format. Or you can do an Apex trigger that says when this happens, then you would use the loop message class like this. But because it's doing a call out, you would want to do that in a future method.
And you'd have to specify the DEP and
Yes, you would.
that.
Yeah, and generally for production systems, you would be querying for that information. So based on the opportunity information, query for the appropriate document package and use those IDs. But for purposes of the demo I showed, I just hard-coded some IDs. The outputs depend on your templates. So if your template is a Word document, you're not going to get an Excel document. But you can use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF. You can use other files in your templates that can be converted to PDF, but we won't merge data into them.
Okay.
So you can use images as a template, but it'll just either stay an image or be converted to a PDF. Any other questions? Did you think of one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other use cases that we didn't cover specifically for, larger enterprise companies that you want to touch on? 'Cause I know there's so much out there.
As far as initiating DocGen, I think these are pretty much them. It's single DocGen, it's batch, it's programmatic, or it's scheduled.
Would you say it's mostly like sales teams that are using this, or what
I-
would you say within the org is the most popular use?
I think the biggest use case is proposals and quotes.
Proposals and quotes?
Yeah. I don't know what would be second, but that's bread and butter pretty much.
Yeah.
We have for nonprofits exclusively.
Nonprofits.
Acknowledgements and boards and
Okay.
Yeah, typically in the nonprofit space, they're more batch oriented, right? Yeah. Sending out letters in bulk and stuff. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. If you do think of any questions, feel free to hunt me down and ask me later. Thank you.